Hello, my dear friends. Rahul Kikre here again. Thank you very much for watching my previous videos, and thank you very much for your overwhelming response and all your comments and liking it. I'm very grateful to you. Today, I'm going to make a video on cyber security, and cyber security is very important. And in fact, I would like to start my discussion on the need of security and how uh, security is paramount, maybe even more important compared to any other thing in every field of our life. Suppose if we can discuss one just example. Suppose I have the best house in the town, but can I be relaxed or even be comfortable for a second inside that house if it doesn't meet the required security standard? So answer is no, right? So even if I have the best house, I may not be relaxed or may not be comfortable if it doesn't need, if it doesn't meet the required security standard. So in the same way, if we will even write the best code for our application, be it a web application, be it in cloud using any tool, any programming language, any Java or anything, if we will write the best code so far till date, and maybe we design the best database, but at the same time, again, security is paramount. If that application doesn't meet the required security standard, then again it is exposed to vulnerability, and our data can be hacked by somebody, or our code can be hacked by somebody. So writing good code or database design is very important, but still the security is paramount. So in the same context or regard, I would like to discuss the importance of cybersecurity and how we can implement cybersecurity in our IT application. Okay. Hi guys, so let's begin our discussion on cybersecurity. So I'm going to keep it short, and maybe if needed, I can prepare a detailed playlist, even to go for the setting of different tools and all network level security tools or application level, so that I can prepare a separate playlist. But this one, I'm just going to this video, I'm going to just make one video, and this is I'm aiming for maybe IT managers or program managers who just everybody need technical knowledge, but they may not need to go up to that granular level of maybe technicality of tools to set it up, but definitely knowledge is required to everybody. So just I'm going to keep it short. So what are all things we are going to discuss in this cyber security session? So let me share that with you. Okay, so we are going to discuss this. So cyber security presented by Rahul Kekre. Okay, so the topics what we are going to cover is, first one is antivirus, second one is firewall, third one is network level threat, fourth one is application level threat, and fifth is data level threat. Okay, fine. When it comes to antivirus, right? So we need antivirus in all our, even if we are using a laptop at our home or computer or anything mobile or any digital device, any digital device which may connect to internet, we need antivirus, right? So why we need that? What are the functions of antivirus? Okay, so antivirus is the software if we will install in our digital device like laptop or maybe mobile, so that may protect us against all kind of malware and viruses and all those kind of things. So what are these viruses and malware? So what these viruses and malware are, suppose if we are browsing net and we downloaded some file, or somebody sent us some anonymous mail, or and by mistake we clicked some attachment, or by mistake we downloaded something and it has some virus or malware. So what it will start doing is, once that virus will start getting executed, it will replicate itself, and it will try to maybe modify the code of existing programs. So if you have other application installed on your computer or laptop, or that may get corrupt. So, and even some kind of worms or something that may even spread across the network if you are connected to LAN or something, or maybe that may damage even more computers. So viruses, malware, so antivirus must be installed on the digital device which will connect to internet. Uh, so we saw that what is the functions of antivirus. So okay, let's. Okay, so our topic one is antivirus, and what we did is we just discussed the functionalities of antivirus. So what functionalities antivirus suffice the purposes. Antivirus gives us our laptop or computer or mobile, the digital devices which are connected to laptop, protection against the viruses, malwares. Okay, that's great, and there are many good antivirus software available in the market, and we must install very good one antivirus on our computer or laptop or mobile or whatever. And how we can check the status. So uh, if you will right click the antivirus software, you can see all these options, right? Maybe similar options, maybe not exactly, it depends on antivirus software. So we can check update, we can check its status report, we can check whether when it got updated last time. We can even see all the reports, can threat, everything it can. It can depict us every kind of report if we want to see related to scanning and all those things, right? So that's what we saw, that this is a very important step, or maybe a stepping stone in order to protect our digital devices against the malware and the I hope I'm clear about the first one. Okay, thank you. Okay, so before moving to our next, agenda item, that is firewall, I would like to discuss just one algorithm of antivirus, that how antivirus, may detect the virus or malware. So just one algorithm. There may be many algorithms written into antivirus software, but just one algorithm I'll discuss, so that may, give more clarity on the how does antivirus function. So I'll just give you an example that maybe as I'm presenting this, so my name is Rahul Kekre, there may be 10 Rahul Kekre, right? But when it comes to signature, right, this is next to impossible that all those Rahul Kekre will have same signature, because when I'll do my signature, that maybe some strokes of my writing, and my writing may differ, but of course it will differ, right? So that is next to impossible that even two people are keeping or may have same name, and their signature will match exactly. This is next to impossible. I've never seen such thing. Okay, so this is one of the algorithm written inside the antivirus. So whenever any software or application or file gets downloaded in our computer through net or something, so antivirus scans it and try to get its signature. And every antivirus has a database of signature, and it tries to match against the signature database available with the software, and that keeps getting updated, right? So this is just one algorithm, right? So as soon as it finds that the signature doesn't match with the a database, and it doesn't maybe suffice the criteria written in antivirus, so then it gives us protection against those malicious viruses or malware. So this is just one algorithm which I discussed here. There may be many algorithms written in the antivirus software. Okay. Okay, guys. So here I go with our second agenda item, firewall. Okay. So remember we are discussing about cyber security. Okay, it's maybe importance and how to implement it. Okay, so second agenda item over is firewall. Okay, and that is the first level of the protection for our networks and against internet, and how does it happen, and how to configure a firewall. I would discuss high level, maybe as as I mentioned that I'm targeting this video for the managers and program managers, but definitely when I'll prepare a detailed playlist for all how to configure it, maybe I can roll my sleeves, and we can I can upload the lab sessions also in that how to configure firewall. Okay, so here I go. So firewall is a software, is a hardware, and both hardware, software, both. So this is a puzzle. How does it happen? Okay, fine. So what happens actually when we design our network? So as in my previous video, I mentioned that there are, if we are going ahead with IPv4 standard, so there are 5 class of network groups are available: class A, class B, class C, class D, and class E. So A, B, C are available for the general use. So as I mentioned, that few of the internet device need different network on every port whenever we're plugged. So that's how the concept of subnet comes into picture. And so before setting up our firewall, or before configuring our firewall, what we need to do is we need to create subnets. Okay, so maybe the servers which should not be exposed to the internet, uh, they are grouped together in a subnet, uh, and those are assigned a private IP. So that subnet becomes private subnet. So nobody from the public internet directly reach to those servers. So that is the main purpose, right? And then once we design our subnet, so there may be various different subnets. So I'm just giving examples. So if we have you know, configure our one of our subnet where we have kept our web server or database server, and we have assigned private IPs to them, and we made sure that it should not be exposed to the internet directly. Fine. So that subnet is prepared. Now what we need NAT device, which is network address translator. So what it does it, because if there is a web server, definitely somebody, or maybe while using public internet, they may try to access our website which is hosted on the web server. So that time we need to allow that particular request. So how does it happen? Let us discuss step by step. So first we created subnet, then we need a NAT device to convert those private IP addresses to public when somebody is trying to reach to that particular server, and when the server is trying to reply that particular request from the source. So that's why we need NAT. Okay, fine. And now once the subnet and net setup is done, so now we can configure our firewall. So what we need to do to configure firewall is we need to define ACLs, access control list, right? So that controls that which particular request, maybe which is coming from internet, that is can pass through which particular subnet. So that depends on this access control list, that is checked exactly against source and destination, right? So then according to that, a firewall allows that particular request or network packet to run through that particular subnet on the basis of ACL. Okay, and at the same time, I think in the beginning we discussed that firewall is hardware, software, and hardware, software both. So how does it happen, and which particular part is installed where? So when it comes to hardware and software, it is installed between our private networks and the gateway. So there, hardware firewall is located, and on that hardware, the software firewall is also running, right? So what is gateway? I think, okay, let's discuss what is gateway. So suppose we have our house. So what is the gateway of that house? Is the first gate from where somebody can enter the premises of our house. But then once you get through, there may be different rooms also, right? So suppose we have there is a security guard at the main gate of our house. So fine, he checked, okay, you can get inside the house, but then again that person may not be be allowed to enter every room, right? So maybe we have according to our that is some, I'm just trying to correlate things. So maybe as per our maybe friendship, or maybe according to relationship with him, we may allow him to go to certain room, but not so everybody cannot go to every room and kitchen and everything, right? So likewise, so that hardware and software firewall sits between our private networks and the gateway. So that firewall controls that according to ACL, which network packet can get through our network. But then there are software firewalls which are running on every computer, right? So that controls the actual uh, according to the application level protocol, and which port it should go through, or that particular software firewall controls exactly which application it should reach to, right? Okay, guys, so let's see quickly what we discuss about our second agenda item called firewall. Okay, let's see quickly. Okay, so let's see what we discussed about firewall. We discuss its functions, we discuss its prerequisite that we need to, uh, configure our network, including subnets, and we need a net to, convert the private to public IPs when a particular uh, device is connecting to public internet. Then we need to configure the firewalls by setting up the ACLs, access control list, and then we need to test what is penetration testing and what is maintaining firewall. Okay, so let us discuss. This is very interesting. What is penetration testing? Okay, as a programmer, I think if we are working as a programmer, we generally we deal with two type of testing: functional testing and non-functional testing, right? So even if we are developing a web application or a data warehouse application. So generally a programmer is involved in functional and non-functional. So functional covers maybe does the code or data suffice the functionality. Suppose if somebody has to put order, is he able to complete the order or not? And non-functional discuss about the speed or maybe how much time it is taking to execute the code or those kind of things. So right, but what is penetration testing? So when it comes to cyber security, the most important testing is penetration testing, right? If somebody is able to penetrate inside our network, even bypassing the ACLs, what we have configured, our firewall, and bypassing everything, if he is able to penetrate our network, our testing is failed, right? That is so as part of penetration testing, we must ensure that our firewall is blocking any unencrypted data in HTTP protocol, or it should not allow data packets to penetrate our network if that doesn't suffice the validation of ACL's access control list. Okay, fine. So we are clear with the second agenda item, firewall also. Okay, good. We'll go to the third agenda item. Friends, just before moving to our number three agenda item, that is network level threat, I missed just one very important point of firewall, that is maintaining a firewall. So what is maintaining a firewall? It can be just understood like if a big sportsman or maybe a big movie star or maybe, got his first breakthrough, right? Maybe a good cricketer got into the national team, but then he has to maintain his form, right? Otherwise, there may be fine. So likewise, once we established ACLs and the firewall started working, but then we need to maintain it. And how we can maintain it? We need to go through its what logs it's generating, how it is functioning, uh, what what are things we can see in the logs. So there are many tools which comes to analyze the firewall in detail, and then we can analyze the performance of firewall, whether all things, whether it's functioning according to our expectation. Fine. So Zlean is one of the tool which comes for analyzing the Windows firewall. Okay, the Linux work little differently. It has some table structure inside it, so that is little different. But still, see, once the firewall is we have configured, we need to analyze the performance and we need to maintain it, right? Okay, so that's what I'm so we'll move to our agenda number three for today. That was network level threat. So network level threat. Okay, how we can control the network level threat? Suppose if somebody who has trying to penetrate our network, so how we can control? So again, there are tools in the market, which can help us analyzing our network performance. And one of the tools we can see is Wireshark is one of the tool which can just analyze the whole network, like whole network traffic, including analyzing all the protocols, handshakes between different applications, protocols, packet sharing, content of the packets, and a very good kind of reports also we can get from. So I'm just giving you example. I'm not doing marketing for any tool or something, but I'm just giving you an example that there are tools available in the market which can analyze our network and all those aspects which we just discussed. And if there is any threat issue in the report, what we will analyze, we can fix it, right? And then there is a concept of creating honeypots. So what is honeypot? So if somebody is trying to make an unauthorized attempt to penetrate in our network, so all those attempts got recorded in honeypot, and we can analyze our honeypot, and then again we can go back to our ACLs where what we discussed in firewall access control list, and we can see, we can cross check whether those are all blocked, or maybe again we can modify our configuration of firewall, or maybe more secure to the network. So honeypot also plays important role in analyzing the data. If somebody is trying to make an unauthorized attempt to penetrate into our network. Okay, so guys, so we discussed agenda number 3 also of our topic of cyber security. So now I'm going to combine the agenda number 4 and 5, that is application level threat and data level threat. So let's see what those threats are and how somebody can try accessing our data without authorization, and how somebody can maybe try to penetrate in our application code or something like that. So okay, so let's see that how what is the application level and data level threats. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so we can see one most critical data level threat as SQL injection. Okay, so what is SQL injection? Okay, so this is very important concept, that what is SQL injection. So whenever we are deploying any web application, so our data server sits behind it, so nobody can see directly our data, right? So every from if anybody is accessing our application through public internet, he has to request through our web application, right? If he wants to see some his personal data or maybe some related his transactions, so he has to request through web application, and then our web application returns the record by connecting to the DB server, right? But then there are certain SQLs which can be written in many programming languages, which can bypass our web application, and they can directly access our data, right? So that is a big security threat. If somebody will get access to our data, that is disaster. Okay, right? So that is one kind of very big risk. Okay, and then there are some, very critical other application level threats also, like cross-site scripting. If somebody can just send some malicious, notification or something, and if somebody is clicking on that, it can direct to some other website, and then so then again some a virus or malware or some worm can get entry in our network. So again, that's all leads to cyber security again threat. So we need to be very careful when writing code, or designing database authorization, authentication. So all these things are very critical in order to provide good cyber security to our web applications, database servers. And zap is zap tool which can analyze the vulnerability of web application, and give some suggestion if if code can be improved, or the way database server is access can be improved, and that can strengthen the cyber security part of our application. Okay. Okay, guys, so we came to the end of this discussion. We have discussed, all agenda items. So, just to summarize, the crux of our discussion is, yes, it is very important to write a very, efficient code, and the database structure should be, very refined and efficient in the way to fetch the data very fast. But cyber security, adhering to the principle of cyber security is paramount, because if even if after writing the best code and designing the best database, if somebody can hack our data and application code, that will be a disaster, right? So cyber security, in my opinion, is paramount. Okay, so I hope I conveyed the message in appropriate way, where my dear friends are able to understand what I'm trying to convey. But definitely, please put your comments here and I will try to answer. Okay, and I'm very soon I'm planning to come with many playlists on technical things like AWS certification and management certifications like Prince 2 or Agile certifications and many more. And whenever I got a thought for for coming up with a new playlist, it just double up my enthusiasm and motivation that I'm going to get a chance, more chance to interact with my friends. Okay, see you soon. Okay, bye.